got the red, white, blue, flying high on the farm. Semper Fi tattooed on his left arm. Spent a little more in the store for a tag. In the back it says USA. He won't buy nothing and he can't fix. With WD-40 and a Craftsman wrench, he ain't prejudiced. He's just made in America.
Welcome to the Costa Mesa Pettis Perspective, episode 14. And tonight we're going to talk briefly about the major issue being discussed and voted on in the city council meeting that was yesterday, I believe the 1st of June. Tonight's Wednesday. Again, welcome everybody. And please, if you can remember and you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and leave a subscribe down below, please. It helps us track things on the channel. And what I want to talk about, there was two main things in the council meeting last night. It was cannabis again, and also some budgetary stuff. We're going to stick to the retail cannabis ordinance that was up. It's back up again. This is the first reading after some changes that were brought by the ad hoc committee and community and council. There's many changes that were asked, but what they were reading tonight was it had anything from taxation to ordinance changes to storefront to just about everything retail cannabis. They are now at the point where they're about ready to have this thing go live. And after talking to some of the other council members, there might be a second reading, maybe not. We're not positive. But this, after all was said and done, was voted in 6-1 with Harper as the no. And so that means retail storefront cannabis will be happening soon. There's been a lot of work done on it, so I'm happy about the involvement of the staff and the city council and listening to the community. And the only thing that I learned that it was voted in, this initiative Measure Q was voted in by the 65%, I believe is the number, voted in wanting retail cannabis. So I am about the citizens and the will of the voter, and I'm happy to see they're doing a lot of hard work on it. The only thing I don't like that I learned, I didn't know, there was a question asked about CUs or conditional use permits. It's one of the permits that need to be applied for and granted to a potential retailer. And the question was asked, I believe it was Arliss Reynolds asked the question about is it possible if there was a retailer that was violating or not adhering to the ordinance or in some way behaving as a retailer in a way that brought it up, it was necessary to revoke their CU, conditional use permit. She was asking, is there a mechanism in place now to do that? The answer was yes, but I believe it was the city manager that spoke on this. I'm not positive on that, but the planning commission is the area that would be in charge of revoking conditional use permits, not the city council. So I found that to be I don't know. This thing is, if they're going to be issued out of the city manager's office, these permits and looked at, and they're given by the council or staff council, and then it's incumbent upon the planning commission to revoke it. I think that's a little weird. I would like to see that have to go to a council vote. I know that Mayor Stevenson chimed in and said it is possible that if somebody from the community or somebody from council or somebody from the commission wanted it to be heard by the council, that's possible. But as it stands now, it would be the planning commission that would be the revoking body if a conditional use permit was needing to be nixed. I guess that's minor. It stuck out to me. So as we stand now, it is going forward, unless there might be a second reading. Don't quote me on that. I believe that to be the case. So we are close to having this thing live. The second thing I want to talk about is I actually called into the council meeting for the first time. Usually I like to just listen closely. I don't like to call in and interject myself into city governance unless I think it's absolutely necessary. I did call in this time as a board member of CMRA, and I wanted to talk about the petition that has been circulating for a citizen. It's advocating for a citizen advisory committee for One Metro West. Now, The reason I called in is this thing has gained enough steam. We're at 400-ish, or just not sure exactly, somewhere around 400 signatures right now, and it's increasing every day. So I was told by a person that I consulted that's knowledgeable on these things that we are now have enough support and momentum that we could make the case to actually bring this to council via the city clerk. And so we will be doing that. And I was told so what I wanted to do is as a professional courtesy, I wanted to bring council into it. I didn't want to do it before now. Wasn't sure how this thing was going to shake out. But it certainly looks like it has teeth, and it's going to at least we're going to at least move the ball forward and see if we can get this thing in front of council. So that's great. I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I wanted to remind people that are listening and the community that it is not a committee. This is not an attempt to advocate for or against the project as it sits. The project is a large project, the biggest project in Costa Mesa history. I've had lots of questions and people that aren't understanding certain parts of it. And this, I like to compare it to, if you look at the kind of ties into the cannabis initiative. You know, a lot of the changes that came about that were made to the ordinance that were actually voted on last night, this has been an ongoing, lots of tweaks and adjustments, came out of what they call the ad hoc committee, which was formed by council. It's a very similar thing to what we're trying to do. It's not an actual ad hoc committee as put forth by the council, but it seeks to do the very same thing. And this ad hoc committee on the cannabis side actually went out and did the work and the research, talked to the community, made recommendations to the council, and actually a lot of those changes from the ad hoc committee were adopted. So this Citizens Advisory Committee that we're moving forward is a very similar thing in relation to One Metro West. And I wanted to be very clear about it not being an advocating for or against the project. Now, why would people want to be on it for or against just on its face? Is because if you want to have a say, this is a good way to do it. So why would somebody that's against the project want to be involved? Well, I can tell you that just because you're against something, a lot of times the likelihood of that project moving forward will happen anyway. So if I was a person that was against the project, I would like to be on the committee and see if I could have some impact over the things that I didn't like about the project, whether it be, nuisance, traffic, who knows. So that's one reason somebody against would want to be on this committee. Somebody for the project would want to be involved, that things are happening the way it was advertised through the council and how it's put forward. So there's many reasons for or against why somebody would want to be on this committee. So I strongly encourage, we're doing well, but we really do need a lot more signatures. And with your guys' help, it's going to be something that we can all together get done. And this is something that I think has been lacking in the last several years at the city level in Costa Mesa is, since COVID, certainly the last year, these Zoom meetings, I'm not faulting council on, individually, but look, let's just be honest. The pandemic has infected all areas, including city governance and involvement from the community. A lot of things and decisions have been made that have been done in a way that has not been seen before. I'll go ahead and say it, hiding, kind of throwing everything at the altar of COVID, getting things through without as much city knowledge as prior, when people are actually able to be there and see the council on the dais. I do believe this was the last Zoom call, which is great for the community. Not so great for me. I'm saying that in a joking way because I will actually be in person at those council meetings. I'm not going to stop doing this. I will be there, and I will be there for the entirety of the meetings, and it'll be nice to see everybody's face. So that's it for today. Please sign the petition. And please pass it along to a friend. It's on change.org, the Citizens Advisory Committee for One Metro West. And overall, the most important thing is to be kind to yourself, be good to each other. Together we can get it done. Bye for now.